Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our channel. I am Cindy Ola with Sacred Garden Yoga. I wanted to pop on here today and then give a brief talk about the five main teachings of the sacred feminine, at least the way that they've been coming into me within these past couple of weeks. I've been working in a program called Ascension, where we're steeped in deeply within the teachings of the divine and sacred feminine, not just that of Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, although that is who we will be studying in this next upcoming week of the program, but also the influence of the Greek goddesses of Aphrodite and Demeter and Persephone, along with some of the indigenous goddesses like the buffalo white woman and the Hindu goddesses, Kali and Durga and Lakshmi, the Roman goddesses of Venus and so on, and so many. I mean, in other words, the sacred feminine has been depicted in the history and the mythology of our culture, all of our cultures, for so many years. And I came under the influence and have been fascinated with the sacred feminine for quite a few years now, but I think the first seeds were planted when I was in college. I remember writing papers about ecofeminism at that time. I had no earthly idea what any of that meant. I was in college in the early 1990s. I graduated in 1995 with a major in biology and a minor in psychology. And this idea of ecofeminism was new to me, that the way we treat the female was also very much associated with how we treat Mother Earth. That as the sacred feminine was oppressed, so was the way that we treated Mother Earth. So anyways, it was just this fascinating topic, and I think those topics just really started to plant the seeds in exploring what the sacred feminine means to me and how she's been emerging within these past few decades, especially more fiercely here recently as we've been in this transition. So I think that the divine feminine energy is speaking to a lot of people, not just women. Of course, it's coming through women, but also through men as well, because men can certainly experience and benefit from the divine feminine and the female energies, because the male and the female energies exist in all people, no matter whether you are a man or a woman. And right now, as we begin to ascend and awaken, these energies are wanting to come into balance in the sacred marriage of sorts. So anyways, back to these five teachings, at least the way that they came in to me earlier this week. I was taking a shower, and in the shower is usually when I do my best thinking or when I get inspiration. I don't know if it's just the water coming down into my head, awakening up, just the centers of information and increasing my capacity, I think, to receive downloads, since water is a great conductor of energy. So anyways, I was in the shower, and then suddenly I had this this need to jump out of the shower and just write down these words that were coming out, and it came out to these five ideas of the sacred feminine. These five messages or teachings, they're not new ones, and I've shared some of them before already, but it just, the way they came through this time, it seems like it was a little bit more organized than it normally was. So I'm going to share them with you here today. The first one is that the female ascended masters, not just the ascended masters of the female energy, but any ascended masters, any beings of the higher vibration of light, the very first teaching, or the very first thing that came through, for me anyways, is that they're not going to require your worship. And they will answer your call if you're asking for help, but they're not going to require you to worship them or want you to worship them. Now, if you create an altar, my whole house pretty much is an altar. You can see behind me over here where I have all sorts of things set up, all sorts of deities and crystals and stones set up. But they are there more as a remembrance, pieces of wisdom and pieces of stones and other influences and deities that help me remember who I am. And that's how these higher beings of light, especially the sacred feminine energy, that's how they exist for you. That's how they want to exist for you. as as teachers of remembrance, and as reflective energies to, again, remind you of your own sovereign being and your power. So they don't want you to worship them, but what they do want, or what they would like, or what they would prefer, that's probably a better way of saying it, is for you to be an embodiment. So be an example of the sacred feminine teachings, or the teachings of the higher light. Instead of just going out and talking about it or teaching it, live it. Live your words, live your story, live your teachings. And that is what the sacred feminine especially want for you to do. Don't worship them. Don't put them necessarily on any pedestal. And they want you to know that you and her, whoever that her is for you, are same. One in the same, and their power is also your power. Okay, so that was the first teaching that was coming through, and the second one, this one goes along with the first one. I think it just feeds it into the first teaching, is that you are in fact self-empowered, and that you are a fractal of the universe. We talked about this in the last video as well. In other words, you don't need to look outside of yourself for your salvation. Teachers will be there to help you remember, but all the teachings lie within you as well. They are coded within your body, your DNA, your bone structure. Your body is like an Akashic record that holds the memory of everything that you've ever experienced within this lifetime or any lifetime. So you are self-empowered, and you don't need to look outside of yourself for your salvation. All right, so that was number 2. And number 3 is that your body is not this sinful thing. It's actually a chalice. One of the mysteries of Mary Magdalene is the symbolism of the chalice. And the chalice is symbolic of the body, and how your body is divine. That your humanity is also part of your divine experience of ascending. You go through your body and through your humanity to connect with your divinity. So you are not born in sin, all right? But the essence of you is also good. You're not born in sin. Your body is this vessel of holding possibility, and it's the chalice of life itself. Number 4 is the cultivation of your intuitive skills, and that they are not heresy. And intuitive development was often considered part of the feminine arts. Thus why it was squished down so much during all the transitions as we were going from the old religions into the more dogmatic religions. Your intuition is also what empowers you. Learning how to use your gut instinct and to trust that. Learning to trust yourself again. That is a big, huge message that's coming through with the sacred feminine. As children, a lot of us, we weren't taught to develop our intuition, or at least it wasn't encouraged to be developed within us. The arts of the sacred feminine is to reestablish your intuitive skills, and to reestablish your connections with the forces of nature, not just Gaia nature, earth nature, but even cosmic and galactic forces that are out there as well. You begin to awaken to a whole new world that you perhaps wouldn't have been able to perceive before. And that makes you a lot more difficult to manipulate or to control. We talked in the video before how some of these forces wanted to try to control you, so they squelched the intuitive arts. So it's now time to give rise to those intuitive arts. Once again, open up your intuitive sight, your intuitive feeling, in this reconnection with the artistry, especially as it comes through you, because it's going to come through each person in a unique way. But that, again, that's a beautiful thing. And to not be fearful of it. Don't be fearful of your inner knowing. And again, learn how to trust in yourself. Again, that is the fourth major thing that's coming through. Trust in your higher divine light. Trust in your inner master. It's always guiding you. We just need to open up our capacity to really see it and receive it again. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5 is descending is part of the process of ascending, and it is actually the path of radical self-love. So as we're having this human experience, in order to know ourselves as whole, we're often going to have to descend down into the realms of mystery, of the unseen, and of what's hidden inside of us emotionally. The descension process asks you to love every single part of you that perhaps we have pushed down, or we have repressed, or we have even hated, like parts of us that we've hated because it didn't fit within the idea of, or the framework of what perfection means to us or to the collective. So descending down into the muddy roots, it asks you to go down into your Muladhara, your root chakra, into your second chakra, your Svadhisthana, where your emotions and your place and your sense of pleasure lies. It asks you to send down into not fearing your power within your solar plexus and your solar center. So the energy of the sacred feminine, of that Sophia consciousness, of the Shakti light, the realm of creation itself, the realm of what the Hindus would call Prakriti, which is another name for this female energy of the creative space itself that we're living in, the manifested world of material and of thought and of emotions. Descending down, planting our roots, getting grounded, learning what this human part of us really means for us, and how it plays into the role of becoming ascended. So we descended to ascend. We grab those parts of us that we have pushed down. We meet them with radical self-love and honesty, and we ascend. We bring it back up. And this place where the descending and the ascending energy often merge is in our hearts. And it's the Christ consciousness of the union of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, this Shiva Shakti, the union of the polarity between our humanness and our divinity. So our divine light and our human spirit come together in that sacred marriage that we've talked about so much. And the union of that is what gives birth to this new age, this new aeon. So those are the 5 main messages that were coming through this week from the sacred feminine. All I know is that there has been information that's been missing. We haven't had the full truth or the whole truth, and there is a reason for that. But now this information is coming out. It's coming out of the woodwork. It's ready. We're ready. The humanity is ready to take this in and to use it to just to better ourselves and to better this planet, to better our relationships, so that we can coexist in a more freedom-loving, heart-expanding, peace protecting space. So thank you for being a part of this and for being the light workers and even the shadow workers. And I mean shadow workers in a good way, because I'm a shadow worker, for wanting to uplift humanity and make a positive difference in this world. So I thank all of you who are watching this and are interested in being a part of the solution, you know, and really wanting to make a difference. So I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.